Welcome to Nanoscopic Drop, and today I'll be talking about what I've been waiting to for this to be finished. Finally got to have my full review on the next pay per view right after WWE WWE's TLC, and what we be looking forward now since at that time it was January. I'll be discussing about WWE's Royal Rumble 2013, and so from that on. I'm gonna look at the cards here, the match cards from that specific event. So, it's been a while. I hadn't been making posting nanoscopic drop video, and that's because I've been looking at those. Ring of Honor is actually and they've been removing their contracts out of from they remove contracts from their talents, and for some reason that was like probably the only information that I've known, and I heard that they were gonna revamp or just take a new change um in rebuilding the whole brand of Ring of Honor. So I hope to see what they come up with this on their new concept, and see if there's gonna be a huge benefit after this, especially since they seem like that in that type of company they seem to be like having like one of the most like low budgety uh environments when looking at their station and their their location and their environment. But I mean, I dig it. I mean, I still enjoy watching their matches. It's just I hadn't been really catching up. But now, luckily, this is my opportunity since they're on hiatus. I can go on and see one of their pay per views. No, I mean, their recent pay per views that I've missed and see what's up. But right now, we'll be talking about, of course, the Royal Rumble 2013. And this is where The Rock returns weeks before the actual event, and he wants to challenge CM Punk for the WWE Championship. And so from here on out, I think the first match start with Alberto Del Rio, which he eventually won the World Heavyweight Championship against Big Show. Um, and winning that World Heavyweight Championship, I think at a last man standing. And now this time he's having a rematch with those two again, and it's in the same stipulation of last man standing match for the title, the World Heavyweight Championship. And now I believe that this specific match on the first card of the Royal Rumble was up. I feel like in the half for in the there was half of a lackluster, and then half was like in the beginning, which was a good way to start. So they eventually went to go fight between the ring and then the stage, and then they eventually went. They both brawled into the stage, or brawling into the stage, and Big Show knocking out Alberto Del Rio onto these LED stage props, and then eventually Big Show went to go on to choke slam him right to the table, which was a great spot, and Alberto Del Rio managed to still stay up before the 10th count, and then they went back into the squared circle, and there was some really lows on how the way when the ending fall with how Ricardo Rodriguez had to tape up Big Show in order for him to not stand up when Alberto Del Rio's like, I think we're like attacking him with a chair and then setting with the arm breaker, his cross arm bar. And I think that was a pretty much in a rush. I feel like they could have had something if they put up more time into it. And I mean, like, what else? I mean, what were some highlights? Like, I mean, it did feel like a cheat either way. Like, seeing that Alberto Rio and Ricardo planned this for to tape to tape his foot, which I thought was a weak move because I thought this time he would be this would be the second time that actually Alberto Del Rio would defeat him in such a clean way, and not having Ricardo be interfering in this match. But no, it kind of left into a turn where Ricardo had to do the work, and I wish he wasn't performing that act when he was when which made Big Show defeat lost his title again. Um, then moving on forward, now I'm going to the second card, which is Rogue Scholars facing Team Hell No. I believe they faced each other in Hell in a Cell 2012 for the tag team championships, and now I mean Team Hell No is still defending them. Once again with by against them. And now this match, where to start? You know, I mean Team Hell No, we're burying them real. I mean pretty quick in the match. You would see Kane throwing a big boot on Daniel Bryan with his suicide dive. Um, body slams, chops. No, not chops. Um, but what did they do? They did a drop. They both teamed up to do like an assist drop kick. Um, but eventually Damien Sandow would attack Daniel Bryan by like spearing him to the apron, which now made Daniel Bryan lose his control and and it would have Cody to come in and also attack Daniel Bryan. And what else? Because I feel like this one was not memorable as for this match. Oh, and there was this one part where Damien Sandow was attempting this neck breaker, but I think Kane went to go he fell into another direction. Like he did, like it didn't make Damien to do a neck make a neck breaker, perform a neck breaker really well. Since Kane, instead of him going to like I think the right, he instead went to the left, which was very unusual to see Damien. To having Kane not leave Damien into a good spot for performing a neck breaker, which I thought was very odd. You might look in like maybe in the first half of the match, the middle of the match. So and I think it'll eventually when I think the Rogue Scholars actually performed like a double assist suplex on Kane, and I think one of them were trying to pin them, but then the ref said it didn't count because it had to be an illegal man, which I don't know it was whether Cody or Damien. But that eventually led to a distraction for Daniel Bryan to drop kick one of them, and then I think Kane choke slamming them, and then Daniel Bryan actually went to perform the no lock on Sandow, and then they retained the title. I think that's pretty much all I can say from that match. But now heading on to the Royal Rumble. Now this is the third match, and honestly, I enjoyed this Royal Rumble. And I don't think I hadn't seen it yet before in my entire life because of course I've once watching this when I was that year 2013 I've never ordered pay-per-views there. I've never ordered the pay-per-views and they on my on the cable. So and I actually wrote down some notes I think on what was some good spots like so Dolph Ziggler went to the first entry, then the dope spot was how the second entry went, the returning Chris Jericho, which I think he came back right after Summers. Well, I mean, he the last time he was there was probably after SummerSlam 2012, which I think they both had a rivalry, which I wasn't aware of, or like who won that feud, since I wasn't into professional wrestling at that time. But let me see. So here's some moments that I like about this match. While everything else was just kind of, the usual, where how, there's just shots where there's everybody fighting, and there's nothing yet. There's nothing left until they wait for like a countdown, when um when there's one certain group of people, or one or two people facing each other um in a very intriguing way. So let me see on this one, on the spots here. So there's one where Dolph pushes Kofi to jump on Tensai, and eventually Kofi. This is when Tensai was already eliminated, and Kofi was on the back of him. Was he was attached by Tensai, and Tensai had to like pull him to the announcer table, which Kofi never even got to got eliminated, of course, because he never got touched from the tooth from the by his feet, by both his feet on the floor. And so what he instead used, was asking, I think one of the announcers was their chair, and he would jump up like a pogo stick just so he can go back to the ring, and it worked. The plan actually worked, and I thought that was fun. And then the weird and funny part was how when Godfather comes in, I forgot what entry. I gotta check. He entered at the I think at entrance 17, I believe. Draw 16. Yeah, yeah. So he draw at the entry 17, but he got eliminated quick by Dolph Ziggler for like what, five? I think like 5 seconds, which I thought it was kind of sad to see, not see Godfather in action. But I mean, he didn't even sweat. He wasn't even pissed. I mean, because luckily I think he was back with his. I think what they believe, he had his ladies right aside at ringside, and he just went to go back back out back inside the behind the stage. Which was an odd. It felt like a very useless return to see Godfather there, especially to do nothing. But at least Goldust came in, which was very interesting because at that time, um, Cody was there, and and they acknowledged that these two were brothers, and then they went to go, uh, fight each other, and which was really dope. Um, what else? And what was and another disappointing point was the cameras didn't really concentrate on how when Jericho was performing the walls of Jericho on Cena, and they instead ignored that part and have to, you know look onto another picture with whoever was um doing something doing something doing something else, whatever, and that other wrestlers that are doing their thing at the Royal Rumble. And what else? There was one dispute where Team Hell No actually went to the Royal Rumble also, and I think Daniel Bryan had to. What did Daniel Bryan do? I don't remember. Something was put on to blame that I think both of them got really pissed off, and I think they eventually um led both of them to betray each other. No, Daniel Bryan actually eliminated Kane, and what's funny, Cesaro pushed Daniel Bryan, and it was it was kind of like the same sense as when Kofi was being like the backpack to Tensai, and Daniel Bryan was already holding on to Kane, and Kane let him go, which caused Daniel Bryan to lose as well. there was opportunity for the for the wrestle to main event WrestleMania. So that was funny. Um, but what was some other moments? Oh yeah, Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas went to go on debut because I think he actually previously he won a certain like I think a normal contenders match, something or like a tournament, so they could qualify to the Royal Rumble, and he actually did, and he managed to eliminate the Intercontinental champion Wade Barrett at the Royal Rumble, which I thought which was a dope cool moment. But then I saw Wade um pulling him in distraction by grabbing him and attacking him from the outside. And what's unfair that they actually thought that that counted that Bo Dallas would be eliminated from Wade Barrett even though he got eliminated. So that goes the same as like Kane and Daniel Bryan because Kane was already eliminated before Daniel Bryan got pushed and hold on to his tag team but on outside. And Ryback was, oh my god, Ryback was indestructible. He eliminated Sin Cara, The Miz. He went to go on to attack a lot of superstars, and eventually um what eventually was the sad part was when once Jericho and Dolph Ziggler ignited again. Well, I saw the cool part was Chris Jericho code breaks Dolph almost falling over the top rope, but he holds on and instead of Dolph Ziggler doing a lower bridge to avoid Jericho running after him, he he tossed him and he tossed him out of the ring closely and close, but Jericho held onto the ropes, and Dolph performs a super kick, which knocks out Jericho out cold, and it led him to be eliminated, which was quite surprising and such a dope moment there. But sad to see that Jericho didn't win at all. Um, and then the last three men were Sheamus, John Cena, and Ryback. Oh my god, and Ryback was like again indestructible. He went to go on and then even eliminate the 2012 Royal Rumble winner Sheamus, and then it was just Ryback and John Cena, and Ryback was already performing his signature moves. He went on to do the spine buster, um, and he's about to perform. I think he did like a meat hook clothesline, and luckily he was close to doing the shell shock, but instead Ryback managed to Ryback was just about to do a normal toss outside of over the top rope, but John Cena pushes him, and it eventually led Ryback to roll down the ring, which I thought it was. I feel like it would have been better if John Cena might have performed like an attitude adjustment or something clever, like something like maybe using his signature to make him eliminate, like maybe one of his signature moves that he can eliminate him, like what would I think, hmm like if like let's say if John Cena would have done like a jumping leg drop while Ryback was laying was hooked by the first rope, that would have been a very interesting pull. Or like again, an attitude adjustment. Um, what he would have done? Now I'm thinking of like his other primary moves from 2015, but those moves were later on. Oh well, I can't think of anything right now, but from that, but oh well. And then luckily and then now the main event now it's The Rock versus CM Punk. Now what I like about this match was not only they served so much time for CM Punk to beat. Welcome to Small Scrutiny. Now, I actually I came down here right now with the match review on CM Punk versus The Rock on the Royal Rumble 2013. I hadn't even finished that because I really don't know what was the reason for. It's like since the last time I was recording this, the Royal Rumble video was probably a few weeks back, so I had to come back and I just noticed that I had even gone on to finish the main events review. So here's my take on The Rock versus CM Punk. Now, from seeing this match, especially I even recorded I already finished the Elimination Chamber 2013 show review, so that for me it's kind of embarrassing to see that I finished that, except that I've never even gone on to finish the Royal Rumble's main event. So the Royal Rumble's main event, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, it's almost, let's just say it's half related, not half related, from the match going on from, going forward from Elimination Chamber, it does duplicate most of the time of the performance from the last pay-per-view, which is the Royal Rumble. So now in the first chapter of both of them fighting, I think for the first time ever. So from this, CM Punk was champion. He got they went on to start the match, ring the bell. Paul Heyman posed a distraction that The Rock would come in and come in front and I guess try to attack him, but Punk goes for distraction and does like a diving, a regular diving double axe handle. And what else? I'm looking from the highlights here. And there were some moments where Punk went on to have these kind of he had his technical style in which would have The Rock to slow down a lot of times. Not a lot of times, but like in one particular moments where he's just staying there, laying down, taking his time to fully recover and rise back up to counter CM Punk some submission holds. And it took him a while, which I kind of like because that kind of extended more of that that time period going on in its full length of the match, which was great. So the timing there was great into this match. The thing is here. So there was one particular moment where The Rock attempts, he takes out all the announce tables, the Spanish announce tables accessories to go and have it used as a table, as just using other weapon for it. And The Rock comes in and attempts that rock bottom, but it goes on to a botch, and the announce table just breaks by itself, even with just little motion that The Rock was trying to pull off from his finisher. Nothing of that attack happened. They just both fell off, which was kind of embarrassing. But I mean, I can live with that. So and then the weirdest part is that I guess I'm believing they did like some improvise with, after both of them falling down out of that botched announcer table, commentary table. Then The Rock pulls out for the rock bottom right at the ringside mat, which was unusual spot to put your finisher in, but okay. I mean, I kind of accepted that. So I just wasn't used to that kind of pulling off finishers just from a mat instead of doing it from another announcer table, because they only had 2 commentary tables at the Royal Rumble. So it was not just the Spanish commentary, it was also the English commentary, of course. And then what else? Very coolest thing was once The Rock goes on for his comp bag and then does a spine buster and then anticipates the people's elbow. Once he almost goes down on Punk with his elbow, with the elbow drop, the lights went off, and somehow somebody drove The Rock into the English announcer's table, which led him unconscious, and I think they led him for countouts, I believe. Wait, not a countout. Oh yeah, it went from Punk dragging him back to the ring and pinned him, which made him the winner, which I thought was a very cool finish for that, since especially since we hadn't really know who was um the any certain group that oh any certain group that had not interrupted, yeah, interrupted The Rock and led him into losing that title match. But the thing that sucked was that, well, I mean, once Vince had the decision to come in and restart the match, it led that match now just feeling like if it was just squashed. It was nothing. Like if they were really turning it better than the first match that they just caught on that same exact day. So that felt kind of odd. And you seeing The Rock just beating him up like nothing, and The Rock goes in, I think, for the people's elbow, and then he wins the match. I thought that was kind of lame for that finish, for that part two of that main event. So yeah, but and I think just overall from the show, really, it wasn't that it wasn't it was I guess I would say it was okay. The Royal Rumble was great, but I feel like I've probably seen better Royal Rumbles, I guess, especially with returns. And I'm a big guy with I'm a big fan with like having to know who's coming up to the Royal Rumble. No matter if they even return, if they weren't even gonna win the Royal Rumble, I just wanted to see some surprise appearance. Which at that in that Royal Rumble pay-per-view we saw, I got to see the Godfather and Goldust, which is really cool, and Chris Jericho. But yeah, that'll be it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Finally, now right after I publish this one, I might have to just publish this one the same day on Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, publish. I might have maybe 2 reviews on published that today or tomorrow. So, yeah. All right, have a good day, guys. And this is the end for the small extruding right now. For now, on to the Royal Rumble review. Goodbye, y'all. Peace.